Why, hello, you beautiful souls. Let's just make sure that audio is running and everything is flowing. Everything looks like it's good. Just give me a thumbs up if audio is coming nicely. And don't forget to like the video, share and subscribe if you haven't. It's been a hot minute, so welcome. There's been a lot of changes going on in my own inner beingness, the connection with source, just the happenings and the flow of life. And I finally feel like this next little expansion and level up is ready to radiate. So truth through love is going to be our subject. And for those that are new to the channel, this is really an opportunity to tap into that divine presence through proxy, allowing the words that are spoken to simply just land in the heart and not necessarily unpack it with the mind, just to receive and to marinate in the experience. And through what comes in, it's really just spirit speaking through. We are all channels and vessels for God, for Creator, for spirit to flow through. And in these meditations, if you allow yourself just to relax, that channel that we are removes all the clutter that impedes with that flow. So you can experience the expansiveness, so you can witness yourself firsthand the calm and the inner stillness that inevitably leads you to breakthroughs. And as always, in order to break through, something has to break down. So we allow ourselves to simply receive, rest, and release. So those that are new to the channel, I hope that was a nice little breakdown for you. We also like to start the meditations with 3 taps of the singing bowl. And with every tap of the bell, you will take a nice deep breath in, and your exhale will be transmuted into that mighty and powerful Om, that divine chord, that first sound of the cosmos. And as you close your mouth, the U and the M will form naturally. So you don't have to think about it. It's just really a big sigh of relief that you turn into a song. So everyone has their own resonance. Everyone has their own frequency, but you're doing it right because you feel it resonate in your chest. I'm just going to kind of wet the whistle here. And I just kind of invite you to get a little stretch in, get the last few wiggles out, and we'll kind of begin. I still don't know, and I never know what comes up and what I'm going to talk about and what's going to be spoken through me with these. But the theme, that aspect of truth through love, has been coming through a lot. And verbatim, that is what has been coming through in a meditation the past few days, I would say. So I'm excited to explore this and unpack this with y'all. So don't forget to give the video a like, and we're going to go ahead and drop in here. And just to regulate the body, we'll take a nice deep breath in through the nose, filling yourself up full with air, and release through the mouth. A big sigh of relief. We're going to do that one more time. In through the nose, filling up all of the body cavity with air, and again release with a sigh. Our last breath here will be in through the nose and out through the nose. Nice and slow. Inhale in, filling yourself up, and then a slow, gentle release through the nose. As with all practices of this stillness meditation, ensure that your posture is upright, that you're not being too rigid and stiff, but you're allowing yourself to sit up as tall as you can. Think lengthening of the spine. And if sitting up is difficult for you, feel free to lay down on the ground. Just be sure not to fall asleep. And even if you do, it's okay. When you hear those next 3 taps of the singing bowl, we'll take a nice deep breath in with the sound of the bowls it rings, and with your exhale, transmute it into that mighty and powerful Om. Allow yourself to fall in love with this practice, with the tongue gently resting on the roof of the mouth and a big smile on your face, inviting the body into more rest, relaxation, safety, and love. It's here we firmly establish ourselves as the witness to the inner and the outer. So whatever sensations, emotions, thought forms, happenings arise within you and around you, simply lay witness to them and observe, just like when you're watching a show or a movie. So rest in the cinema of the beingness and enjoy the show. With the final tap of the singing bowl, shift your attention to the sound of the bowl as it rings. And just as the silence arises and it drifts into quiet, so too shift your attention towards the calm. It's here in these moments of rest, of relaxation, of stillness, and that we observe the true nature of our base state, of our innate beingness. A quiet and still expansiveness, a witnessing through a window frame of awareness. There's no doing, and there's no efforting. It's simply existing as we are and allowing life to play itself out. We can consider this and know it as expansion. When everything just flows effortlessly and freely, it's that pathway towards liberation. And it brings us into that knowing that this is truth. That the temporary states in which we experience in the waking state and riding the roller coaster of personhood, the emotions, the sensations, the thought forms that consume, that shift our awareness into a point of focus. And when you are consumed by such internal and external happenings, what is it perceived as? What does it feel like? What do you witness? Is it not a contraction, a tension? As you breathe in and breathe out, you understand this rhythm, the ebb and flow of life. But the truth beneath everything, the backdrop in which this play of life dances upon, is your inner stillness, is your inner calm, is that inner presence and witness. And that truth is love. For love is an openness. Love is the expansion itself. It breaks down barriers and walls of individuality and isolation and pushes towards inclusivity, wholeness, oneness. Truth in action is living a loving life, and truth through love is one and the same bridge. Both walking towards a deeper understanding of who we are, what we are, and what life is, and the creator of it. And that is the beauty of this experience. That truth and love are one and the same. And although there are many natures of love, many expressions of it, it always comes back to the same thing: fullness, truth. Those loving actions that illuminate, that build understanding. And in the knowings themselves, we can experience these things firsthand, and we have our entire life. For when you learn something new, you enter into the expansion, a greater and wider scope of understanding and knowing. When you play and lose yourself in the moment, you go beyond the boundaries and limitations of time and enter into timelessness. Those moments of deep safety melt away those walls that we've put up around our heart and allow us to feel, to receive, and to give love. So, what does this embodiment look like? What does it feel like? All are questions one must ask themselves, my children. But understand this: you are love itself, you are truth itself. They are one and the same. It is merely the temporary happenings, the failures, or so they may seem, that arise within your lives that make you forget. You've grown as children into adults, looking around for those to guide you, to point the way. But everything that has failed you externally has always meant to encourage you to come within. For everything within this experience is love, for all is of me. Worry not, fear not. In truth, you've never been astray. For everything arises as intended for you to finally recognize the truth that has never left you, the love that will never abandon you. And that is my presence. Through your own sense of self, you can come to know me, for every one of you is like a channel returning to the ocean. But it's your attachment, your identification with the inner phenomena and the external world that distracts you and leads you away. The more you rest within me, do you not feel more and more expansion within your beingness? Going beyond the small-scaled body, connecting with the space around you, going beyond that with the world around you. The more you look within, the more you rest within, the more of that connection you may feel. The greater the size of your form, the body that you may observe. A more radiant and expanded heart space. These are all paths of truth that show you my love, that guide you through love. The many concepts of this personal world have failed to encompass the fullness of what love truly is. And yes, you understand love through the many forms and expressions done in the personal, but know that my love is absolute. My love is truth. My love is me. For I am a being of love. And so are you, as you are my creations, as you are of me. The spark of my love fires and expands itself within you the more that you utilize it, the more that you lean into it, the more that you recognize it. And through that, you move through a knowing, you move through truth itself. For they are one and the same. So think not love in the small understanding that is limited by the human mind, but come to live it through the waking truth, moving in the attitude and energy of thanksgiving, living a life of praise, walking in faith, that deep trust, knowing that everything that I've played out before you is for you. This whole experience itself is catered to allow you to step into the fullness of your authority, your sovereignty, your power. But you must be refined to use it wisely and safely and for the purposes that I created you for. It comes through expression, it comes through creativity and play, coming back to that innate curiosity that all of you had when you were children. Never seeking to rest and assume that something is achieved or known, but to always continue to grow and expand and unfold, because again, I am love. And what is love but infinite expansion, infinite openness, infinite possibilities and potential? And yes, my children, you are the embodiment of me. Every one of you, a unique ray of my divine light, here to shine forth and to illuminate the darkness. And those of you that know, those of you that sense, those of you that feel and observe that expansion currently, simply breathe it in. You feel it, you witness it when you let go. Let go of that sense of small self, the individualized I am. And you tap into that infinite realm of beingness, isness, which transcends the small, transcends the one, yet as things go in this realm, paradoxically, brings you back to myself, the one. And that is union, that is fullness. And through me, anything and everything is possible. So do not forget, my children, that you are of me. You are embodiments of my love, here to be shepherds, stewards, caretakers, and keepers of light. Yet those forces that be play the antagonist to tempt you out of your authority and your power. So look within yourself now. Where is it that you get in the way? Where is it that you are not stepping into the mantle that I have set before you? And where are you still holding on to the past? Because remember, everything is a lesson. Don't take life so personally. It's not happening at you, it's happening for you. And we are coming into an age of enhanced trust. But only those whom are trustworthy of my heavenly waters will be able to share them upon the masses. So know that if you seek to save one, you've saved the world. If you uplift one life, you assure your seat at my side. I do not seek perfection from any of you, for that is not possible. What I always seek from my children is alignment. That you are not swimming upriver against my flow going downstream, that you are resting within my sun and refusing to sit upon the shade. that you simply listen to my call when it is spoken, and that you spend time cultivating this connection with me. For through this expansion, you will experience liberation, freedom, peace, comfort. And through that expansion, you will release and therefore rise. No matter what you do, no matter how far you've walked away, know that you cannot disqualify yourself from my love as long as you earnestly seek me out. For that is the power in which I trusted within each and every one of you. And I do not seek to squander any light because they've been lost upon the storm. And in fact, that journey away only brings you into a deeper knowing, into the potency and power of my love, my presence. When you seek to align with me, you naturally align with yourself and what you were created to be. For you move through love. And in it, naturally, you will discover truth. For they are one and the same. Hmm. And so allow yourself to simply be. To rest within the form. To continue your inner stillness and witnessing of what arises within and around. Having observed before the practice, through the practice, and now after it. What has been stirred up, released, experienced, and understood. And even then, there is no pressure to any. We'll take a nice deep breath in through the nose together here. And out through the nose. We'll take a nice deep breath in through the nose and release through the mouth, a gentle sigh of relief. And again, we'll do such in through the nose and out through the mouth, releasing any tensions that may be present. Bring ourselves back to taking a breath in through the nose when we hear that tap of the singing bowl. And when the bowl rings, we release that exhale into a mighty and powerful Om with a big old smile on our face. Release the body of breath here. Namaste. I bow to the divine within. Yeah, and if you enjoyed, let me know. If you have any questions, comments, things like that, this is a great opportunity to drop that in the chat. Um, hmm, very large energetically. I know it felt every time we drop in together. It's always pretty trippy on my end. It felt very intimate. Um, Felt very full. And it's those moments where I can't tell where my body ends or begins. I feel like that's how you know you're in the pocket, the sweet spot, so to speak. And I hope that you experience that as well. I hope that you can come to know and firsthand witness and apply that aspect of expansion, truth and love being one and the same in that sense, which is interesting just looking at it on that kind of like the mechanics or that structural level of our experience is that you can tell what is in alignment and in harmony because it always leads to those expanded like states where boundaries are released and completely just like dissolve away. And for me, that I feel like more than anything, that is just the nature of divine, the nature of God, the nature of our creator is again just infinite. And that's why there's no end to this search. That's why there's no end to knowing truth and love. And in my own spiritual journey, I only sought out truth. I didn't really, I was always just very skeptical of everything. If I don't experience it, I don't know if it really exists. And my road did not start out seeking God, even though as a child I naturally prayed to God. I had no idea what that being was logically. And I think that's kind of the trap of the personal human life is that we kind of always have to seek things out through the mind. But when you come to experience things that go beyond its understanding, that's where again you go across a boundary of knowing and enter into the unknown, and through that you discover, through that openness, through that curiosity, through that just infinite void of just potential, you come to experience capital T truths, that what we are goes beyond the body, that what we are transcends time and space, that what we are is God, that God lives through us every moment, every breath. So when you find yourself in those experiences and moments in the waking state and even in sleep, where constructs and concepts of time are gone, that your own knowing and your own doing are just fused into pure being, where you don't know where the pen is taking you. You don't know where the movements are going to flow into. You don't know the words that are going to be coming out of your mouth. You just open up the channel to the divine. You open up the heart song, so to speak, of your inner beingness, your love. We talk about the heart as being, the realm of love and light, but we've all felt it when you're just in the zone where you just are radiating from the chest. That throne of the soul is the heart. And it is that channel and portal or gateway of love. And that's how you know, truthfully, that what you are is love. Because when you feel your purest, when you feel your fullest, when life is at its juiciest, you and the heart are just like this. You are so aligned and tapped in. And when spirit's speaking through you, and you're just kicking it back, watching the words come out, just like you're watching a show, and that's how you know it's really just open and expansive. And everyone can do it. Anyone can do it. We've all done it because that's the state of living as children, where you're not so fixated and focalized. And I think that's again like the beautiful aspect of the mechanics of this is that when we go through teenage years, what happens to our innate pureness as kids is like things kind of dial in and we just have super hyper focused on certain things, ourselves, how people view us. Like we get caught up in the judgments and the hormones, honestly, just like the body's needs and its urges, and we lose that childlike openness and expansiveness. And I feel very much so that most people are stuck in that contraction. But as you go in the spiritual path of unfoldment, you come back into just being comfortable with the expansion again. Now, oddly enough, life is always kind of breathing, but I feel now life is just very expanded. And I guess the small aspects of contraction are just more of like the logistical things throughout the day. But most importantly, the more that I'm living in the expansion, the better that life feels, the more full it feels, the more things that get done. And this is where we start entering into paradoxes and things of that nature, where it's like you can do through being, but you can't be in a state of being through doing. I hope that makes sense. And I guess to expand on that, like your innate sense of just witnessing, you can't force it. Like if you want to say, oh, tap into the flow state, be effortless, you can't force that at all. You have to allow it to unfold. But you can do all the things you do in the waking state through that effortless flow. That's an interesting one. I want to sit with that more. I feel like there's something there, but yeah, that's an interesting take. We'll see again, this is part of that. Just whatever comes out gets released and it's in the ether now. So if you got any thoughts on that one, let me know. Um, and I guess I can't even fully say that it's just, your beingness can't be forced, but I think that's kind of like a little come full circle with it. That's the artistic and the scientific approach to this life. We can see truth as more of like the logical, scientific aspect, and love is the artistic expression, yet they're one and the same. And just as much as we want to be in the flow state and openness and expansion and in love and in the heart and liberated, that comes through, little mini protocols. That comes through small aspects of doing. I would almost put it in the 80-20 realm where it's like 20% of the doing leads to the 80% being that is just the fullness and juiciness of your life. But so many people have that flipped. And when you lack the rootedness and groundedness and connection and intimacy with the divine, then everything you're doing just falls flat. It's not as deep. It has no substance, has no weight. So those little practices that you can do and get accustomed to, that I hope that these meditations and satsangs and these, teachings and things that come through can kind of help you build your own protocol and build your own, I would say, path into that expansiveness. Again, like I like to still the horse, the body, a little bit of movement, a little bit of stretching before, bring it back to kind of regulating the nervous system through some breaths, allowing the resonance of sound to just activate the vagus nervous system and kind of calm the vessel itself, giving it the reminders and simple task of sitting up and breathing full breaths so that the monkey mind, has a task to do where it can just get out of the way for your soul to unfold. Yeah. And with that, I feel complete. Mm-mm-mm. Well, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for dropping in. And as always, may the fruit of knowledge offer a seed, and in that seed may your love, will, and intuition give life and nourishment, for a tree will grow. And in its shade may you find peace, and offer peace to all who ask. I love you so much. Thanks for dropping in. And I think I'll catch in with you Wednesday. I gotta see timing wise. Getting back a little later of just like client flow, but yeah. All right. Peace. Don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, share, all the things. Love you.